Hello everyone, it's Jack Cotton, luxury real estate expert, #1 best-selling author of Selling Luxury Homes and real estate agent, talking to you today about branding. In fact, this is our third and final session on the concept of branding in luxury real estate. So we talked about how branding is a promise that you make to your marketplace and how important it is to fulfill that promise. So let's talk about how we go about conveying the promise so that we can actually fulfill the promise. And here's where we finally get to talk about your logo. It's important because it's going to convey that message in an easy to digest format. So a lot of people think branding is a logo. It is not. Branding is your promise to the marketplace. The logo should be helping to convey that promise, and it should be clean, it should be simple, it should be elegant. It should be absorbed by the consumer with what I call one eye bite. An eye bite is, how many bites does your eye have to take out of an image before it can comprehend the whole thing? Think about the Apple logo. Think about the IBM logo. Think about the AT&T logo. Your eye can see that logo and instantly take it all in. So complicated, confusing, convoluted does not work with a great logo. So keep it simple, clean, simple, uncluttered, and one eye bite is critical. Next, we talked about branding being what people say about you when you're not around. So think about this. What do you want people to say about you and your business when you're not around? Write that down and make sure all the people on your staff, your immediate staff, and even your vendors are signed on to the same message. Now develop a tagline. It should encompass your brand, your promise. It should symbolize your brand and your promise, and it should convey your brand and your promise. And commit to it. Commit to it. And again, your staff and your affiliates need to be on board. Recently we referred a seller of mine to, I won't mention who, but a contractor to do some work that needed to be done prior to the house going on the market. And this is the premier contractor in this category of work in my marketplace, or in the marketplace where this house is located. And the guy came out with his supplier, and they made a careful, complete analysis of the house and the situation that needed to be corrected, and then never called back. And my seller called 2 or 3 times and still has not heard back, and has since gone to a different vendor to get this small piece of work completed. Now, that vendor's actions reflect poorly on that vendor, but guess what? It also reflects poorly on me because I recommended that person. They were not congruent with the promise I make in my marketplace, so guess what? They're off my list. So all of your affiliates, as well as your staff, all the people you refer and recommend have to be signed on to your promise so that they fulfill the promise and don't let people down like my vendor did to me. Next, you want to design your look. Templates for everything needs to be congruent and go along with everything you're doing. Your letterhead, your ads, your signs, all the marketing collateral materials you produce have to look like they're related. Because, everything you do needs to build on what you've already done and to create the foundation for everything that you're going to do. So, create a branding standards book for your staff. For example, my branding standards book included, every letter will be typed with 14-point Garamond. Every margin will be 1.25 inches on the right and 1.25 inches on the left. The top margin will be 1.5, or I think it was 2 inches. We specified every single thing so that everything we do looked the same. Everything was consistent. And so that everything we did built on everything that we did in the past and became the foundation for everything we were going to do in the future. So all of our collateral, printed material, everything has to look like it's related. You can't just keep adding more things to your branding package, to your collateral package, without making sure they all follow the same theme or template. Understand that consistency is critical. Everything you do builds on what you've done, and it creates the foundation for what you're going to do. So send me examples of your branding, and I'll let you know what I think, and maybe share it with some of the people here in a future video. So some quick reminders before we finish up today. Forward this email onto a friend around the country or around the world. I'm getting people emailing me now from everywhere. The Czech Republic, from South Africa, from all over Europe, South America, and of course the United States of America. It's really fun to answer questions or hear questions from people from around the world. And again, don't forget to check out the listing that's included in this newsletter and my newsletter every single week, because with several thousand people subscribing now, we can do referral business between and among ourselves. So send me your listing. Again, we're working on a way to feature more than one listing at a time because our backlog is getting big, but don't let that stop you from sending me a listing. I promise we will get to your listing. Lastly, luxuryrealestateunplugged.com. It's coming up. I can't believe how fast the second Tuesday of the month always comes around. But anyway, sign up, luxuryrealestateunplugged.com. Get your questions answered. Go to luxuryrealestateunplugged.com and write your question on that page so other people can see your question and I can have all the questions in one place. It's good for me to have prepared answers for some of them. And I love answering your questions on the fly during the webinar, and I do. But it's going to be boring if I don't have some great slides to convey the content you need to really get your question answered. So, and if you see someone else's question, it may jog a follow-up question for you. So it's very important to have them in one place where everybody can see the questions. Anyway, luxuryrealestateunplugged.com coming up fast. I can't wait to talk to you then. Until then, make it a great week.